on a new truck. Back to 2016, and it's on a 10-year rotation. Those trucks are on a 10-year rotation. I'm being told if we place an order for this truck tomorrow or within the next week, we could expect to see it in July of 27.
27.
Yeah. They're not asking for any money down. They're not asking for anything. I think Sean was going to give you guys a copy of it.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah. So basically, they're asking for a commitment. And I mean, basically, they're saying just say you want it. If in July of 27 it comes in and you don't want it, they're like, if you just say so, there's 10 other towns standing in line waiting. So I would like the ability to give them okay to order. And apparently in 2027, at some point in 2027, they're going to start messing with the urea stuff again, and that's the diesel treatment supplement, and doesn't sound like the stuff looks good. They're not probably going to have the bugs worked out of that.
I'm sorry, Jeff, I'm not sure what you're talking about. There's
a treatment that mixes with the fuel and goes through a filter, and it's called DEF. And so with all this new emission stuff, it's to help try to meet emissions, and it's been problematic for every engine builder out there. Caterpillar just said we can't meet it. We're stopped building engines for on-road trucks. And basically this is a duplication of the 10-wheeler that we have now. We haven't had much trouble with it. It seems to be a pretty good truck so far. And we had 2 Western Stars prior to this, and we still have one. That was kind of what I was really reaching out to see what the time frame was, and he's like, "You're looking at 2027 if I get a commitment now." And he obviously can't tell us what he's going to give us for a trade-in for Huey's truck 18 months out. So. There's no trade-in number really in there yet.
Don't you think you should have some sort of signed commitment that you're going to take the truck, so that, say at the last minute you're expecting the truck and somebody comes in and offers more money for the truck you've ordered?
I can do whatever you guys want on that one. Like I say, he's not asking for any money, even with a commitment letter. So when the truck is built and the body's on it, and what happened with the last one, they showed up the town garage with a truck and said, "Here's your truck, we'll take the trade. Here's a bill for the truck." I asked the town clerk to send us a check if he would. And that to me is probably the better way to do it. We used to buy a chassis and then try to take it to a body company, plow body company, this, that, and the other thing. And so now you got 2 people you got to go after if there's something wrong with the truck, because the truck company says, well, that was something they did, and the body company. So we bought the last one. We just bought everything right through AGG Western Star, and if there's a problem, we got one person we go to. So. It is up, looks like in the neighborhood of 50 grand over the last one, but it's something that should be in the budget anyway. But I just wanted to kind of get your approval before
I make a motion to.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
Jeff, could you repeat what you said at the beginning about the 10-year rotation, and where are we in that rotation?
So the big trucks, Huey's truck that Huey drives, the 10-wheeler, the big equipment is on 10-year rotation. So Huey's truck was bought in 2016. So 26, it should be replaced.
Gotcha.
We replaced Brian's truck last year, which was a 2014. But Brian's truck had about 20,000 miles less than Huey's truck has on it right now. Because Brian ran the backhoe and Huey ran his truck. So I don't think we're any too far ahead of getting this truck ordered, in my opinion. But,
Yeah, one of them two trucks came in late, so
yeah, but it's Huey's and it's 2016, but like you said, it's got 20,000 more miles than when we got rid of. And maybe miles doesn't mean anything, and you know, I'm not saying 100% saying it does, but I'm saying we're gonna be 18 months probably beyond when we should have.
the rotation plan that the town has been following for several years seems to be working pretty good for us. A lot of towns are running a piece of equipment till they start having major problems and get themselves in a bind. And like the grader and backhoe, the bucket loader, I think are 15 years. And the two dump trucks are 10, and then the small trucks 5 years. Because we've got paperwork that if we keep that small one over 5 years, you end up putting a lot of money into them. And that's what's worked good for years. And
So we don't have to put any money down now, and is this a guaranteed price for 2027?
Yeah, I've got it, pretty much in writing here, and he didn't say, I can't hold that price or anything like that, or I want money up front. So,
Does that feel like a good price to you?
so there's very few people doing it out there. So Viking Proline bodies, and that's literally where the holdup is in receiving the trucks is they're the ones doing 90% of the body work, the dump bodies and the plows and the wings. And right now for us to go away from them to somebody maybe that's not as big or hasn't done as much, none of the stuff is interchangeable either, like the bed chains, the different widths and the bearings on the stuff are different. So your body, you're gonna get a price from Viking no matter which truck you put it on. So that I think it worked out as like 118,000 for the plow body and wing and 180 for the truck. So that Viking thing you're gonna get, hit with on. I do know the boys stopped at Peterbilt and priced one out. If you want me to get you a number on the Peterbilt, but I'm gonna assure you that it's probably quite a lot more than a Western Star.
I make a motion that we approve, pending that there is an agreement that we stick with that price that he's offering now, so it won't be inflated.
Yeah. And I mean, I kind of got a contract here, but I will make sure that price stays the same if we sign a contract with them.
Okay.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks,
What
Jeff.
else you got, Jeff?
Don't have anything major. Have something.
No, but I don't, but number 3, if you could stay around for that.
Okay.
Anybody else got any questions for Jeff?
No, sir.
All right, number 3, access right of way violations. We follow the state A71's standards for driveways installation. And there's a set of guidelines. And apparently they haven't been being followed, whether it's an existing driveway or a new driveway. When people do work in the town highway right away, they're supposed to get a town permit. And we haven't implemented it yet, but we are talking about adopting language so that it will be attached to your deed. And if you don't follow through, sooner or later, somebody's gonna sell the property and there will be a question mark. And until the question mark is resolved, the property probably will not be sold. So, Jeff, you got something to add to this?
No, other than, you know, the select board adopted standards. And every year before the select board comes codes and standards for the state to get from 80% funding to 90% funding. And every year we sign it, or you guys sign it. And the A71 standards are very clear. They should be passed out when anybody gets a driveway permit.
Excuse me, are
And
you my name is Jessica, are you talking about me in my driveway deal?
no,
This letter?
I'm not talking about
Well, I mean,
anyone in particular.
okay, I'm just trying to follow along.
Yeah, so there's standards that are out there that have been adopted way before me. So these are nothing that I'm doing, you know, nothing I'm implementing. They've been here for a long time. So, and then, you know, there's supposed to be an access permit applied for, and there's supposed to be 3 inspections. I see that Ethan's here, so I'll address that a little bit. I have a access permit that looks like it might have been applied for by Ethan. And it clearly shows an area for a sketch and a drawing, and it wasn't done. And I don't even know if it was approved by anybody. So, you know, that's all I really have on that. But I do have the codes and standards and the rules.
And anytime any work's done in the town right of way, it's the landowner's responsibility to apply for the permit, not the contractor. It's the landowner's responsibility. And a lot of people don't seem to realize that most, not all, most roads are 3.5 rods wide. And so that's 49.5 feet. And so they like to push their lawns or whatever, stone walls, whatever, out into the travel portion of the road. So then when the town maintenance crew comes through with the grader, scraping or winging back, and things get moved, broke, they're after our throats for it. But if it's in the right of way,
Well, no, the washout, the water running down these steep driveways, running into town roads and washing out, it's costing every taxpayer when water washes out into the road. And I mean, it's very clear in the codes and standards and our policy that we've adopted that if something like that happens, if we really want, we could go after the landowners for the repair of the road. But these are not anything that I've implemented. These are
existing rules, but we're seeing so many problems. In previous years, we've probably been a little lax in enforcing, but like I say, we're talking about doing the registration of driveway permits, and I think eventually that will catch up. The other thing we are thinking about doing is, I guess I would call it a welcome letter to Weston that we decided.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So that when a person registers a piece of land in town, they get a welcome letter, and it kind of tells them some of the items that can do and can't do, and gives them information about the town. It's probably long overdue, but we're trying. And the access permits will be one of them, and then there'll be information about the landfill down there in Londonderry, and
Right.
zoning information, and be a bunch of information packet.
Right. Right.
You have anything you want to add?
No, thanks. No.
And just about, yeah, it's, I mean, basically it's going to be like a welcoming place where you can just be handed something that is not a bunch of zoning bylaws that you can't really understand or read. And then kind of broken down as to the steps of what it will be.
So should we address Ethan Foster here and Mrs. Morello? Oh, I'm sorry.
Turner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Turner.
I apologize, Turner. Thank you.
So the three of you that are here for the access permits, got questions for us?
Yeah, I guess. I'm just trying to understand, because over the years, I've done this a handful of times. And there was never any issue. And so I just want to kind of run through what happened, because I'm a lifelong Weston resident, and last thing I want to do is cause any problems. Like, that's not my goal. So I guess I was a little caught off guard by, I guess I can kind of give you a little lay of the land. I had the permit passed for the select board meeting minutes on July 12th, 2022. I was living in Natalie back then, and even helping with the town.
Mhm.
So she called me and said, it passed the select board unanimously, that's your permit. And so I have a copy of the minutes from that where it says access permit has been passed unanimously. There's doesn't Ballman Crandall doesn't see a problem with it. It says a 15-inch culvert is recommended. And so I had that. Now, I didn't print the select board minutes, nor did I, in the other driveways I'd done over the years, did I ever actually have a permit. That was, I would always get a call from Almond, and he would say, it passed, you're good. And then he'd say, let me know when you put in the driveway. And so in this case, in the spring of 24, when I put in the driveway, I called him, he said, you're good to go. And he said, put it in. And he said, just like he did the other times, he said, when you go to put in the culvert, come and check in with me. And that's the way I had done it. And so when I went to go, as I remembered, a couple of years went by, time flies by, and you forget things. Once again, I didn't, maybe my bad, I should have kept the select board minutes. I didn't have things. So I was like, I believe I gotta put a culvert in here. And then I went down and met with Jeff, and then it kind of like opened up this whole like driveway gate. Like it was like, whoa, like the whole thing changed from having done driveways in the past and this, and it became, quite frankly, very stressful. Like I'm 44, I've lived here for 44 years. My driveway situation up there in Barker Lane has been the most drama and like upsetting thing I've dealt with. Because I felt like I was doing something completely wrong. And I was like kind of backtracking, and I'm like, am I losing it? Like, I've done this before, I'm following all the norms that I followed in the past. And so I went up there with Jeff, and he said that you weren't supposed to have ditches on the side of the driveway. So CJ Merrill at the time, the excavator, got rid of the ditches. And he said, I don't think you need a culvert. My fault, I didn't have anything stating that I did. So we didn't put a culvert, we didn't put any ditches in. And then he spoke at length about the spec and that it didn't meet spec of, I think, what we were just discussing. And that conversation of spec, or when I run the dirt roads, and so I get real intimate with the driveways. And there's several, a lot of them that per that spec don't meet it, but when I look at them, they tend to have ditches and a crown, and it all kind of works out. And so then I did what Jeff asked, and which I don't think in hindsight maybe worked for the water. And then I got this letter, and so now I'm here.
And where's this one driveway?
This is on Parker Lane.
Where the clear cut is?
So you got an access permit approved in 2022,
Yes.
but didn't go through with the work until 2024. Okay, and at that point, Almond Crandall said it was okay. What you were doing was okay. And now Jeff is suggesting that you're not meeting the A71 standards. Is that right, Jeff?
Well, so there's. Yeah, yes, he got a permit. It sounds like he did. Sounds like at that point, Almond wanted to have a 15-inch culvert in there, I think by what Ethan just said. So they maybe started to perform the work. We stopped there a couple different times. There was a guy there logging, and we said, hey, this doesn't kind of meet. And he said, it's not up to me. Hunter's doing this work, even though he was sitting in the excavator doing it. So we kind of left it. But, the codes and standards are very clear. CJ Merrill's been doing this long enough that the driveway is supposed to pitch back 12 feet from the edge of the road, no more than 3%, but it needs to pitch back away from the road 12 feet. And so in that process that Easton started, the town bylaws say he's supposed to have 3 meetings with the town during construction. And that's probably where some of the problems arose, is partway through. If there had been some meetings, we probably would have come to that point. And so that's all. I can share so it's supposed to go out and I worked on it a little bit, but this access permit policy is supposed to contain all this stuff, and it shows you, but there's some contractors who've been doing this a long time that I would think would understand that by now. So I'm saying to Ethan, when I went up there, this driveway doesn't meet the policies of the town or the state of Vermont. That's all I'm saying. I'm not enforcing it. I'm just saying to you guys that driveway, and we've been up there a couple times, and it washed out one time some pretty good rivulets, and right now it's washing down the road a little bit, and it's washing off a piece of ledge. But I understand where Ethan's coming from, but where I'm coming from is you guys, as the town of Weston, adopted these laws long before I was here. And so I'm just saying, when I went up and met with Ethan, I'm like, this driveway just doesn't meet the standards. And there's a written permit there's a permit to be applied for, signed off from, and procedure. So I'm not the bad guy. I'm just telling you.
No one's saying you
You're
are.
a bad guy, but it's a little clear that
Did Alman ever give you the copy of the H71 standards?
No, I got a copy. I didn't get a copy. I got a verbal that the minutes had passed. And when I met with him, he said he referred to the driveways on each side of the driveway. And I can have pictures here because once again, I feel like I've been, like when I got the letter from the town, and I understand, I'm happy to be here now because I want to get this all out on the table. It felt like I had done something wrong, and like I'm not going to do something wrong in this town. I'll tell you that. And so he referred to. He said, there's a driveway above you. There's a driveway below you. And so this is the driveway. This is the driveway below, and this is the driveway above. And I'm kind of here
So I'm wondering about for these standards or guidelines, as they're called.
It's my brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Ryan Foster.
There we go.
I'm also an architect though, so I do, I'm involved in a lot of projects. I was involved in this project, but I'm involved in many projects around town and in the surrounding towns. So making sure I have an understanding of like what the expectation is going forward.
You got a copy of them.
Because the Jeff has described is to have the driveway needs to slope away from the road,
There's the access permit.
for the first 20 feet.
Stats are in there.
And
to
if
just
you're
flip.
above the road, the road is sloping, and the hill is sloping down towards it, as you go around town, and you go around any of the towns around, the vast majority of them don't and or can't slope down unless you drastically cut into a hill. So a lot of the
Down
roads,
towards the house, you mean?
so if you're building on the uphill side
Yeah.
of the road. And a lot of times there's a berm, there's a stone wall and, you know, there's a steep berm there. To be able to create a negative slope, you're digging a hole in the side of the hill to then just start to go back up again. And if you just take a look at most, if not all driveways on the uphill side of a road, they use ditches and crowns to keep water from going onto the road.
We got two things here. We've got past history, which we can't take and do a whole lot about. There's another place in town where they've just remodeled the house and they remodeled the driveway, which they should be receiving a letter because the new driveway is not in compliance. And, you know, some point along the line, you have to start correcting past mistakes. And by citing all the bad ones out there now, yes, we can try and correct them as changes are made to them. And we're just trying to catch up and do the right thing because the floods that we've had and stuff have really caused a problem down the line because somebody puts a driveway in and, for example, they got a long driveway and it acts like a funnel. There goes your road, your ditches, whatever. And we're just trying to get things straightened around and do the right thing. We're not trying to pick on any one person. Like I just said, there's another project in town that I've seen that they should be receiving a letter that they're.
And that's where I'm trying to understand
Absolutely.
the expectation of it.
The driveway that you're talking about, and that driveway absolutely doesn't meet the expectations of what they applied for. And that's not any of the people that are in this
I
room.
guess we're talking about two different ones because I don't think they
it's
applied
the
for
one you
one.
used to caretake for or plow the driveway.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't meet the thing, and they should be getting a letter. But to say, I bought a piece of land up on a hill and I can't put the driveway into the standards of the town or the state because in my opinion, at that point, the permit, then if you can't meet it, then the permit shouldn't have been issued. That's all.
You wanna say something?
Yeah, I guess my question would be then, pieces of property on the uphill sides of roads. What I'm hearing is it's gonna be very difficult to get a driveway permit to a piece of property on the uphill side of a road.
It depends on the lay of the land on the uphill side of the road. I mean, I've where my house sits, I'm on the uphill side of the road, and before I get to the town road, there's a dip in the driveway. So that it doesn't go to the town road.
And the town bylaws say in tough situations, tough driveways, tough scenarios, that the town may need to hire an engineer to work this stuff out with people before the permit is issued.
So we're just trying to update things, I guess is the word I'll call, or bring things into compliance, yes.
May I?
Sure.
There's a lot of language in zoning bylaws, so greater than 20 degrees slope, they require an erosion control plan for a driveway. And it also sounds like your curb cuts and driveway permits are not administrative review by your ZA, they go through this board. So that would be something where there may be a lack of communication with your ZA and the board saying, well, I'm just gonna issue a permit because the select board says it's okay. As opposed to putting that responsibility as administrative review to the zoning administrator. And then when it is a
road foreman.
It's the road foreman who.
the road foreman.
Or the select board, it never was the ZA.
So your zoning administrator has nothing to do other than just sign a permit that's okay.
He doesn't.
He doesn't even have anything, it's just for the access.
The road foreman or the select board is supposed to sign the okay and the sign off at the end. And I will agree with Ethan in a lot of his points. And I put driveways in myself that I called Elman and asked him to give me the sign off, and I never got a sign off. So I'm just saying, that I understand what's been going on. But just trying to rectify some of the, or at least.
I guess moving forward, trying to do it.
Right.
To close on my situation in the letter, I guess, what
What are we asking?
Yeah, because I want to do the right thing here.
Good question. Good question.
I mean, I can put I have no problem putting the culvert in and having the, as it said on the approved select board minutes, which once again, that's on me. I should have had those. I didn't. If that's what, is gonna be satisfactory, I'd like it to be, do the right thing.
So Jeff, what does he need to do to rectify the situation?
Well, you guys are, I think he needs to bring it up to the point that it meets the standards of the town.
What is it lacking? Like, is there like a 3-point thing? Is it like
It's steep up away from the town road and it washes down into the town road. And it's not just a factor of the driveway steep and it washes down into the town road. In some of this stuff, they also take human life into consideration. If your driveway's too steep and it's clear ice and you come down the hill and slide out in front of a car and somebody gets killed in that car because you couldn't stop on that grade that's too steep. And so, I think for one, somebody signs his permit and explains what the deal is and gives them the standards and says there's 3 inspections that go along with it, and that's up to you guys.
The access permit was passed, doesn't have a problem with it. That was the conversation I had, was to make it like 2 driveways on either side of it. And I didn't put the culvert in, as I said I should have.
And I don't think, Owen and I have discussed this driveway, and I don't believe that it needs a culvert. And Owen doesn't at this point believe it needs. I'm just saying to you, the problem is not the culvert, and just because it said it was passed doesn't mean it went through the procedures. The 3 inspections, we would have come to that thought and said, Ethan, this doesn't meet the thing. It would have checked up way earlier, or he would have moved the driveway down the hill or something. I mean, it said it was passed by the select board, but then he's saying that Alman approved it. But the select board was doing the approvals, then you guys would. At some point along there, you guys took it, gave it up as the select board and put it on the road.
But the access permit was passed. But I think what Jeff is clearly saying is that that's fine, the access permit, but that doesn't mean that the whole project was passed. Is that what you're saying, Jeff? So the access permit's there.
All right, let me
But during the process,
a little history back here. For you who don't know, Katie, Brian, and Linda, brand new to the select board this year. That's unusual. I have 3 new members. back years ago, a person would apply for access permit. Alman would go out and do legwork, then he'd come and present it to the select board and it would get approved. And we were meeting every 2 weeks. It wasn't working good for everybody. So we give the whole process to Alman. And I can't tell you exactly when that is. My memory's not that good. But so some mistakes were made. And like I say, I'm not looking to rewrite the history books. This situation, if you and Jeff can get together and work out the best case scenario for this one here, and we'll try and do a better job following through on everything in the future. Somebody said the culvert wasn't needed, somebody said there is.
You guys had a real thing of saying that it was over needed for a long time, and this one's right around the hill. And I've had recent conversations with them about this. And the worst thing is if this permit was passed by the select board, you know, it was supposed to have a sketch done with it. It clearly says the drawing, and since the select board approved it, they shouldn't have.
Right.
So I think you're right. There was some things dropped. Let's get it rectified as close as we can. I mean, I'll talk to Loma and have.
That sounds like the next
That
action.
sounds great. I just want to say, like, you know, you guys, we're new to this. We're learning about history, all these things, but want everyone and everything to be on the same page moving forward, and not have to go through this again, or have you feel that way, or you feel that way, and come to a solution.
I appreciate that, and I would like to go put the culvert in the ditches then, like the driveways that are on either side of it, so that water doesn't go onto the town road. And have it based on the conversations and the agreement that.
So let's see if, you know, what solution you two can come up with best to your ability. And I realize winter's upon us and maybe spring before anything really happens.
And we're here as a support. You know, as
Yeah,
somebody
and
who-
maybe, maybe it's a good example because of looking at it, to understand it.
I would love to come and see
Join
it. Yeah,
And look
I'm
at the other,
curious.
I also welcome everybody when they're driving around town to look at the driveways.
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
Quite a few of them.
We are. Yeah, no, totally. It's
And is there something that's going to trigger, if you're talking about upgrades to driveways in the future and implementing, is there, it sounds like there's a plan to start addressing existing driveways?
Well, in this letter, she's supposed to be writing, and we're gonna put a page in the town report. We're gonna stress that when you have work done to your driveway, you better check about a permit needed if you're working down right away.
Do you have like an approximate, like estimation on the number of driveways that would be deemed non-conforming right now?
Oh, I can't even begin to tell you. I mean,
It's a high number.
it's a high number, and I'm driving around town taking photos of people's driveways. I was here for 26 years.
Yep.
Didn't like to say no to anybody. Therefore, we have a bunch of driveways that water now runs into the road and causes damage. I'm not disagreeing with that point whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
For the two driveways,
this is a large number of driveways.
it's a lot. It's a lot to tackle.
You can do about a pre-existing condition.
Till they do work.
Pre-existing conditions that affect that.
But there's also going to be a rewriting of the zoning bylaws have to be rewritten. They were done in the 70s and they don't apply to a lot of things now. It's a project that we're looking into working on, but for right now, it's about making it not so complicated and not having it so convoluted for you guys, and also for us, you know, and having it really kind of laid out that, you know, these are the things that, this is the process. This is, you know, step number one, A, B, C, things that have to be done. These are your options. And not feel like it's so cutting through red tape like I feel like it has in the past. Moving forward. That's the intent.
So see if you two can get together on it. And, when you talk to me, it's really the homeowner's responsibility to check to make sure all permits are applied for.
I moved here 18, 19 years ago. Built up on Old Patton Road. Okay, got a building permit, came down here, looked at the house that was originally, it was on a napkin. Square thing with measurements. Okay, so I did all that. I had no idea that I needed a permit to redo my driveway. Had it sure taxed twice. I was just keep. So my neighbor down the road at the corner had his done by Hunter, right? Hunter, and had his in. So I said, boy, I'm gonna do it. And I said, do you have? I said, you know, the apron, you have that, you know, you gotta make sure you're not, because I don't want the town plows coming in and so they came in and put this driveway in. I had no idea that I needed a permit to do that. You know, I know a building and that, but digging a hole or putting paint in, and I didn't have a clue. So I did not have a permit. I'm willing to pay the money for a permit, any fine that I may encounter, but I don't know what you, not tearing it out, because I got a snow blow that thing. And, you know, that old driveway, you know, busted my snow blower, I don't know how many times, you know, I'm not, that's so.
Now, see, one of the things is, ma'am, like you put blacktop down and you get out into the town right away.
But I'm not, I'm in the same distance as Hunter did two doors down.
I haven't been up to the two, but what I'm saying is when the driveway blacktop gets put out into the town right away and the town comes through grading or winging and they catch the edge of the blacktop, it rips. And unfortunately, when it's ripping, it doesn't stop at the boundary line. It stops where it feels like it. But they try to be careful. But accidents happen. It's just like mailboxes. Certain number of them catch hell every winter.
They did that last year, took my mailbox out.
Well, it's not so much clipping it.
Which is fine.
It's not so much clipping it. Wet, heavy snow thrown from the plow.
Yeah.
Things
No,
out.
I mean, believe me, they drop that plow and take out my whole front lawn, I have to break it out every. So I said, hey, make sure you keep that driveway back, because I don't want the town plows. And by the way, they did a wonderful job this past year. Right up the edge of the road. It was perfect. They didn't come in to.
Both the one that Hunter did below you
Yeah.
and the one that's at your place are way out in the right of way. That, I mean, the pins at where the one below you are set in the stone wall and your pins are set in the stone wall on each side of your house there too. So I guess the point was, there's something happens to the end of that driveway, just so you know, it's out in the right of way. And I think if we go back to your permit when they redid the house and it was all surveyed out and the surveyor set the pins, they're back in the stone wall.
But I didn't have that. That wasn't, those pins had been there.
So
Since,
I didn't set them there, you didn't set them there.
No.
Some surveyor set them there as a property line.
Okay, we've got a long list here tonight, folks. Let's close this driveway discussion up and we've got to move on. We need number 4.
So what is,
Yeah.
what are we telling Mrs. Turner here? That it is what it is, and if it gets broken, then you can't blame us for it. I mean, is that the answer?
Well,
Or do you
that was
want her
what
to take it out?
That was what I thought that's what you guys were trying to say in your letter when we talked about it. If something happens to the end of it, don't stop and scream and holler at the road crew. If the lawn gets tore up, don't holler at the road crew. That really is what it is. The driveway below you is the same way.
Mhm.
It's way out into the right of way. Their pins are set in the stone wall just as well. That stone wall that comes up Old Tavern right from the bottom on both sides. If I go up through there and start looking for people's property lines, I find them all set right in that stone wall. So-
They're actually behind the stone wall.
Behind the
Yeah,
stone wall.
yeah, yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So therefore, your car is quite a ways in front of the stone wall. So
Right.
that's all. And that really was my point to the select board was, could you just let these people know that have done this stuff?
Yeah.
That if the stuff gets hit with the plow,
Mhm,
it's in the town right away.
mhm,
That's all.
mhm. And that was all I've had a couple of run-ins with them, and not so much plowing, because I understand they've got to widen it and keep it wide, because for the next storm and all that. And I'm resigned to that fact, but when they grade the road, when I go out and I get it all straightened away and they grade the road and they run that. what do you-
The ditcher?
No,
No,
the
it's a
big
York rake.
York rake. Come up they go right, and I said, you didn't have to do that. I mean, you're just grading a road, you're not plowing anymore. So, I mean,
We appreciate the comment on the last storm. We'll try to stay in there.
because I went out and it's perfect, right down the road. Both my driveway and my neighbor who also had his paved recently.
Thank you all.
So she doesn't need to do anything, just be prepared to get
Well,
smushed.
Well,
Right.
do you want money for the permit, or, I mean?
no,
It's not about the money for all, yeah.
no, it's not money, about the money, it's just following procedure and like, you know,
I had no idea
Well.
that I needed to, I mean, it's been SurePack twice, they came in,
we all learn something new every day.
So, but that's a good question, does sure packing need a permit?
Yeah, a permit
Well,
to
it's
Sure.
work in the town right away.
That's the issue, is that
far
that
down?
piece of paving is in the town right of way.
So-
The
so
sure
when
pack
I
is
get
not in the
somebody to
town right
come,
away.
they should stop
Yeah, so 6 feet.
Well, the town
from
policy
the end of the
says,
driveway?
town policy
But that's
says
how we
any work
traffic.
done in the town right away. So you being on the DRB, I'm just saying the town policy says any work done within the town right away.
So they
How-
have,
how do-
But
How do I interpret
if you're
that?
regrading the road, you're not going up everybody's driveway.
Everybody's driveway.
No, I'm just telling you what
So
the
there's like
policy
this-
says.
right,
There's a good,
right.
the 15, 20 feet of the bottom of everybody's driveway. Who owns it?
Well, if we were going back to her right of way, if we were going back to her stone wall, she wouldn't be sure packing or
And then where would that,
carring out into the town right of way. Cause
She'd
we'd be
just
using
have
our whole
dirt.
right of way and she'd be
the town,
self.
I thought it goes from the center of the road. That's
No,
my
the
building
cent-
permit. I had to set it back 75 feet from the center of the road. And
Well, lots of little misconstruing
Right.
because the roads are not always dead center of the right of way.
oh, yeah, but I mean, that's what they told me when
I
I
said,
was
right,
building
I'm
18
just
years
saying,
ago.
it's a little
Yeah.
misleading.
Yeah.
Cause I can show you one road in town, the edge of the road is running right top of the stone wall.
And that setback as opposed to property line where the pins are, right? I think that's the difference that we're kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Everybody, good, so we can.
thank you for coming today.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Number 4, I think it's kind of a new thing right now.
Yep.
All right,
Changes to the agenda.
Number 5,
Okay, this is a new.
Deborah, I guess.
Oh,
Here we go.
thank you, we're gonna be really, really quick. I'm Debbie Granquist, I'm the chair of the library board, and I'm here with great news and to introduce our new library director, Faye Mack. Faye is a almost whole Vermonter. We moved here when you were like one. So anyway, I'll let you just tell a little bit about yourself and why you're so happy to be at the library.
Sure, awesome, thank you all for having me tonight. So I'm, like Debbie said, I just started as the new library director. I live in Londonderry. My daughter goes to little school, and so, and I grew up down in East Dorset, so have lived here, went to Burton, so grew up with a lot of kids in this area. And was living in Burlington for about 15 years. We moved back a few years ago. And I've been trying to figure out some work in the community, being part of the community. So I'm feeling really excited about joining the library and at a really exciting time as we get ready to finish up and open up again. So I'm really happy to be here and excited to work with you all in different ways.
Fantastic.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
That's it. So hopefully you won't have to see us a lot. So anyway, okay. Thank you. And this is our town clerk.
Okay.
Seymour.
Nice
So,
one, they had.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Frank.
Don't need me for anything else.
Not unless you want to say enjoy it.
Have a good night.
Now it's your turn, sir.
How's it going?
Yeah, and I would just say that Gretchen Hauser is on Zoom
Gretchen's
here.
right here.
Oh, there she is, right there. We see you, Gretchen.
Hi there.
Hello.
I guess her main question is your explanation of the 5 and 6 districts in a small area like the Slauson Road development.
Yep, so I just want to apologize for just getting to this now. This was communicated to me months ago.
Thank you.
So yeah, this was communicated to me months ago, and I was under the assumption that there was a resolution, and obviously there has not been. So I did look into it. So R5 and R6 neighborhoods, it's how we value your first acre. That is set through the reappraisal. Everything in Slauson should be in R6. The 3 R5s are in error. So
Excuse me, can you repeat that? The 3 R5s, what?
Are an error.
Okay.
Mistake.
They're erroneously set as R5, so these need to be rolled to an R6. Where we are at this time in the year, we really, to do an error and omission at this time is not advised. So my plan of action that I would suggest is that I'm gonna assist the listers in making this a part of a change of the 2026 grand list. We're gonna change the neighborhood designation on those 3 parcels and send them a memo attached to their change of appraisal notice, specific to the reasons as to why their land value is changing. And then we can handle them, and then they can obviously then appeal their values as they would have been able to for any year, but as they would have been able to for the reappraisal. So what my assumption was when speaking with Linda about this months prior, is that it's very typical where Slauson comes down to Route 100. And typically there are lots that are gonna be on Slauson but border Route 100. And we would tack those down a land grade, right? So because you get more road noise, right? So you're kind of like on Route 100, a more heavily trafficked road, but you're not, it's Slauson. So that was my assumption and what I felt what I was under the understanding the conclusion was, but it's not. They're sporadic throughout the development, and it's just, they were not designated correctly. And that's a mistake that we can correct for next year's grand list. And I apologize for the lengthy confusion here.
So that means then that the taxes on those R5 houses that are wrong, It's not it should not be R5.
Mhm.
Those are higher taxes and they have to pay those taxes this year, but they don't have to, but they can appeal next year? That doesn't seem to me to be fair.
Well, it's the opposite. So the R5 is a lower
You're
value
underpaying.
designation.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, so it's R1 through R9, R5 being the average, R6 just a tick above average. So just as far as, Slosson's, it's a nice private, nice loop back in there. So everyone has an R5, if anything, they're getting a break this year. And we're gonna correct and we're gonna increase their values for 2026, but putting a specific memo or letter in their change notice saying as to why. Because they didn't have any physical changes to the property. We're fixing an equity and a data error. The other option is to do it for the 2025 grand list through an error and omission. But you would have to call a special select board meeting and get that signed before December 31st. Because that's when the grand list is closed, December 31st, the select board can make no alterations. So
There's been enough confusion about
Yes.
this reappraisal. We don't need to
Any.
open up anything more, and I'm just wondering how the three property owners are gonna take it that we've just had a reappraisal, then they turn around and get hit with a notice.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna fall on the sword and tell them I made a mistake and we corrected the mistake. That's exactly, and we'll go through that and they can grieve their value just like anybody else.
And they actually get a break for a year on those.
If anything, they have less of a reason to gripe, really. They got a break.
What kind of increase are they talking about?
See, I think it's a $25,000 of assessed
20.
value.
20 grand, yeah. In
So
the
their assessment will go up 20,000.
Per acre.
No, just
No,
for the
just
first
20,000,
acre.
just- Okay,
This is all
just for the first acre, sorry.
Are there any
Right.
other areas, Ryan, where you think this exists, like, and when you?
I do not think
Okay.
there is. I mean, typically, like this is an inconsistency, so when we send out preliminary values and taxpayers are able to go through and make comparisons and look through, all this typically bubbles to the top in informational hearings,
Mhm.
in which it did come to us in hearings, but things just weren't communicated, and it was missed.
All right, I guess we'll see whether dust settles next year.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
First of all, thank you for being there and saying all this, because people think I'm crazy.
You're not crazy.
And you've made me whole again. So one of the questions that came up at the last meeting was who decides this? So it is you who decides the neighborhood designation, because they weren't sure if it was the listers. If you remember 2 weeks ago when we talked about this, it was, who was it? Who's responsible? Who's
Yep.
accountable?
Squarely myself, Ryan. Yeah,
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But those have existed for 20 years.
Oh, they haven't.
Yeah, so when we do a reappraisal, we reset, it's called your land schedule. We reset all your land values throughout town. Those neighborhood designations have no correlation to zoning districts. It's all about market value. So it's our ability to capture quality lots versus, so village lots versus rural lots versus high traffic areas, and grade the land for how its marketability.
So if we would look at a last appraisal, which I believe was what, 20 years ago or something?
20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't even know the supplies, but were there R1 or 9?
So we did we converted into a new database, a new CAMA tool, computer
Right,
system
right,
mass
yeah.
appraisal.
Yeah.
So the neighborhoods before were just land grades in Microsoft, where it's just a 1 through 9 blanketed. We break it up more specifically to village, rural, high traffic. So we break up our neighborhoods more distinctly. So it's just different tools. It's essentially doing similar things, but it's just different tools and different descriptors.
So it was this year that those R5 and R6 designations were made
Correct.
by you.
Yes.
Sorry, I used well, anyway, by you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and it was your mistake that they were, I got it,
Yes.
okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you for owning up to that.
Sure, oh yeah, it happens, a lot of volume, so
Yeah.
apologize it happened here.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay,
Gretchen, do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you very much. I'm glad we finally came to a understanding of what happened.
Well, thank you for pursuing it.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Okay, great.
like I said, I tried to get them to delay using this reappraisal this year because there was mistakes and other things going on, and it would have been smoother if they hadn't straightened everything out beforehand, but
Yeah, well,
I wasn't listened to, so that's the
sorry.
way it goes.
Well, and I'll say this, so none of this was communicated to me. So there's a big lack of communication here, even with, and I know I'm speaking way out of turn here, but even with your driveway fiasco here, it's a clear cut, so just a lack of communication of who's responsible. You know, between zoning administrator, road foreman, select board, who's issuing, is it even a permit? What is it? You know, so just an observation.
That's a problem for 99% of problems,
Yes.
communication.
Right.
All right, so we got some insurance to deal with, I guess.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your being here.
Do you want me to stick around?
No.
We're good. Right?
You're welcome to, but this is town employees' health insurance.
Well, us,
Do you have something different?
yeah, well, I don't know if I have, well, basically,
I'm here, by the way.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, how you doing? I can I have a few things that I can share. Shauna wanted me to add like summary materials for MVP's provider network and prescription drug coverage, which I'm gonna add in the chat. And if you guys are still going on about everything else and I'm going out of turn, please let me know.
Just a second, let me ask Katie a question, please. What did you have, Katie?
I been going into executive session. There's just two different things. I think that there's some history that could be shared with Ryan being here. If that was something that I just wanted to, I've been talked about.
He can stay if he wants to. But Matt's been waiting and we need to take care of him and then we can do the executive session. 'Cause the Bailey Road thing.
Sorry,
we
Matt.
canceled.
Well, you're on.
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, yeah, great. Now I also need a new driveway. Are there any permits I need or?
None of them. It's gonna get worse.
Well, yeah,
That's
so
not-
Shauna wanted me to put together some summary materials, which I am adding in the chat. This is for the provider network and prescription drug coverage. And also, there's a lot of good information on mvphealthcare.com. And the other question that was brought up was the percentage of deductible used so far under the town's current health plan. And now with Blue Cross Blue Shield, the town of Weston was with BEB, Blue Cross Blue Shield, their Blue Edge business platform. And I'm able to pull deductibles and claims from that. However, now it is in the small group platform with Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I'm unable to get those reports. However, you guys pay 100% of the HRA for the employees, and I have an HRA report that I'm gonna share. I just need to send a request here. I'm gonna share my screen really quick and I can kind of give you a outline of sorry. Oh. All right. Check that one. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay, can everyone see this here?
It's very small.
Okay, let me try and zoom in.
There
Is
you
that
go.
better?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
better.
Yep.
So here we basically have the coverage tier. I won't show the employees' names on this, but we can see that $11,353 so far has been, that's the total withdrawal, so that's how much employees have really used their deductible. And we can see here by person, which I'll also share this with Shauna. And in the projections, we projected 13 we projected 13,680 and right now it is 11,000. That total number withdraw, it's 11,353. So slightly less than that. And
Right there, that number right there.
the question was, I think is what is if it's really the town of Weston is deciding between Blue Cross and MVP, and I've attached that in the chat, which is kind of just for the employees on the plan. I mean, MVP is very similar to Blue Cross coverage wise, and let's say something's not, let's say your doctor might not accept or MVP's out of network for them. They use the Cigna network if something's out of service, and that's 98% geo access codes right there. So they are basically accepted like everywhere with Cigna. So
That
really,
was our question. Our question was whether or not MVP would have the same coverage of doctors and prescriptions, and you're telling us it sounds like they would.
yep, yeah, yep, they would.
And Shauna, you sent a note to the employees. Did anybody get back to you and say,
Kim said that it looked like everything that I was covered,
okay,
and, there may be additional prescriptions or things that I'm not sure about, but, for the most part, I think it's fine.
and you didn't hear from any other employees? Shauna,
I have not.
okay.
And Shauna, if employees, let's say they do have questions about prescriptions or they're wondering about it, there's a thing I attached in the chat that literally goes through every single prescription drug. It's
I
like,
sent an email,
oh, you
I
did.
online and found all that stuff and sent it out.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's really all I have.
Make a decision tonight.
Yeah. We need to. Sounds like MVP option 2 would work for
Yeah.
everyone. Somebody wanna make a motion?
I will make a motion that we use for 2026 MVP option 2 of the medical plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion, please.
Just can I clarify something real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Option 2 was the reflective silver 2 plan, which is different. Option 1 is the gold 3, which is similar to the current plan that you're on. That's the gold 3 high deductible, and currently it's Blue Cross Select Gold. the select gold in option 1, gold 3, those are the same exact plan designs that you have now, and it's cheaper. I did present an option 2, which is the reflective silver 2, which is just a higher deductible, and I can share that now.
Okay.
Right, we understand that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Said the silver.
I heard option 2, and I didn't know if there was like a record or something, and yeah, so sorry.
Well, so option 2, reflective silver 2, you said it's a different plan, meaning what? How is it
Right.
different?
Yep, so if you look right here, sharing my screen again, reflective silver 2, you can see the deductibles.
Right, we have all that in front of us.
Yeah, yep. So
And it looks like the plan, the premium is close to $30,000 less
yeah,
than what we're paying now.
Yeah.
Yeah?
absolutely.
But what you're saying is that the current option, the current healthcare that we have right now is equal to the gold 3.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
What? Yes, that's what I'm saying. So employees, which I mean, the town of Weston pays 100% of the deductible. So I don't
Right.
think employees care much about that. Maybe I'm just saying for you guys, the deductibles and that stuff is higher. That's like the only difference. I just wanted to point that out. So
30,000.
sorry about that.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying now.
Right, so we're saving $30,000 in the premium, and
Yep.
we might be liable for 28,000 in the projected HRA, but that
Correct.
becomes basically a wash. We might, I mean, that might not even rise that high. So that seemed to us to be the better deal because the
Yep.
annual premium is less. If everything else is largely equal,
Right.
then
Exactly.
that's
And you saw
that's
the HRA report. I mean,
right, exactly.
it was
Yeah.
only 11,000 or so dollars. So
Right.
Yeah. Right, which is roughly 2,000 less than what you predicted, but still.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, great point. Thank you.
So I believe we have a motion on the floor. Is that still viable?
I believe so.
I believe so, yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you for your patience. I'm sorry that things got dragged out.
No, don't worry about it. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Thank you.
And
Have a great evening.
Thanks.
see you next fall.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here. Number 8, we're gonna table.
Okay.
Oh, just tabled. Okay.
So we gotta move
To the executive session, yep.
and invite Ryan and
I move that the select board enter executive session pursuant to 1 VSA something or other 313A1 to discuss confidential attorney-client communications and legal matters. And I invite to move Ryan, last name, sorry.
Silvestri.
Thank you,
And should we invite
Silvestri,
Kim into this discussion as well?
into executive session due to their knowledge and involvement in the legal matter. And shall we invite Kim as well?
Yeah.
I also move that we invite Kim Seymour into the executive session due to her knowledge and involvement in the legal matter.
A second, Meryl.
Yeah.
She was on there.
Way we need to vote.